Is that wow, that's a cool room. That looks like that's a cool room. Is that
Thanks. It's my downstairs.
yeah, is it like the creative space? Is that where like video pictures get edited and music is made?
Pictures get edited, music gets made, dogs get pet, messes are left by the children. There's a lot that happens down here.
Little bit of shedding?
There's a lot of shedding.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have one dog. He's half German Shepherd and half his mother was kind of easy. So
Oh, the poor woman. Poor woman.
He's all of the American dogs and German Shepherd.
Oh, did you get him? Did you find him or get him at the pound or?
So when I had the gym, one of the kindest people I ever met was my vet. We had another dog, Stella dog, and he would take care of her. And she crossed the Rainbow Bridge in November, and he's always got these dogs up for, that he finds or that something comes up. And his wife's sister adopted this beagle from a kill shelter. I don't know if she knew it at the time or not, but she was pregnant with eight puppies, and so she wasn't a real beagle. She just looked like one, and this German Shepherd had jumped the fence and taken advantage of her, and now she's got these 8 puppies, and she reached out to me and said, "Do you want the dog? Want one of these dogs?" I said, "No, I really don't. Like we just put Stella down, and we're just kind of not in the mood for another dog." And then a couple months later, I guess that was in November she was born, so it must have been April or May. One of the puppies came back, and I saw it on her Facebook, like, "Oh, Stacy, you're tempting me with this dog." And she's like, "Look, we'll make this worthwhile for you. Like, please, like we would love you guys to have this dog." So now I have a dog.
We'll make this worthwhile for you. It came with a free bag of dog food.
They made an offer we can't refuse. Well, they offered to do the neutering for them, and just be kind of an on-call vet, which was a big help, and no adoption fees. And
that is cool. Hey, do you know who Scott Jennings is?
The name rings a bell, but I can't place it.
He's he sits on a round table on CNN. He's like their token conservative on CNN.
Okay.
You should see his Instagram account. You don't look like him, but you for sure could be related to him. It's crazy.
I'm sure that I'm not.
I was going through your Instagram and I was like, wow, he looks just like Scott Jennings. And Scott's extremely intelligent, and he's like the kind of guy who's always under fire. So he's very quick and witted. And
definitely not related to me then.
Okay, well, you should check him out. You look like you could be his younger brother or something.
I will. Thank you.
You owned a CrossFit gym.
I sure did.
Wow. What inspired that? When did you open that?
I opened that. I got my cert at CrossFit King of Prussia in 2009, very end of 2009.
Wow, early. You've been around forever. Wait, go back before then. How did you find CrossFit? What year was that?
So I was working at a bank, and I got fat. And my daughter Madeline called me fat daddy, and I didn't like that very much. So I started. My friend Joel got a road bike, and he brought it to the house, and I started riding. He's like, "Man, I like this. This is something that I could really get involved in." And I weighed well over 200. I was probably 210, 215 at the time.
How tall are you?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
How tall?
5'9".
Okay. Yep. You were fat.
I was fat. Yeah, I was outside of the normal acceptable range, and so I really loved it. I had this little mountain bike, and I put slick tires on it. I started riding that all over the place. And then we got a decent tax return that year. So I tried to use one of my forgiveness instead of permission cards. And I took the money and I bought a road bike. So, and I rode it all over the place. I rode that thing. It was this old bone shaking aluminum Trek. And I must have ridden that thing 15, 20,000 miles. I just rode it everywhere. Wow. And all those rumors that like if you ride a road bike, you will not have any more children. That's not true. True. And I lost a ton of weight. I got down to like $170, and then I started lifting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's skinny.
Yeah, it was skinny. Almost as thin as I've ever been. And then started lifting weights, and then people started asking me questions like, "Hey, like, how did you do this?" So I started answering them. After a while, I started thinking this could be a fun little side hustle. Like, I'm not really a huge fan of working at the bank, but maybe I can turn this into a side hustle. So I got my personal training cert from the National College of Sports Medicine, NCSM, National College of Sports Medicine, because my brother-in-law worked for the publishing company that printed their books. So he gave me the books. He had like extra stock. I took a multiple choice test, and without ever having seen a person, I became a personal trainer.
Mm.
This is way back. This is like 2008, end of 2008, beginning of 2009, around there. And started looking for clients and realized quick, like, if you want to make any money at the personal training gig, like, you have to own the gym. Like, there's no way to do it really if you don't own the gym. You might charge $50 an hour, $60 an hour, but you'd be lucky if you see 20 of that. The rest goes to the facility, and you're only making money, if you're training somebody. You're just standing around hoping that something happens. You're not making any money doing that. And then you could get into like in-home personal stuff. My wife didn't like that. She called me cougar bait at one point, and
fair.
Just flattering. Yeah, I don't think it was true, but it was flattering.
Yeah.
Met some weird dudes doing that, and didn't really like that. And I called a friend of mine from college, and just told him this whole thing. And he's like, "Well, have you ever heard of CrossFit?" I said, "I hadn't." He said, "Well, check it out, and let me know what you think." So I got on, I Googled CrossFit. And I got to CrossFit.com, got to the journal article, I read that first, what is fitness? And it made all the sense in the world. Like, this is all the stuff that I've been trying to articulate and haven't been able to. Like, this makes all the sense in the world. I want to do this. So I dove in.
What state are you? What city or state are you in?
I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I'm about an hour and a half west of Philly, an hour and a half north of Baltimore.
Okay. Is that Amish country?
It is Amish country.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, we're the heart of Amish country out here. So I called Ryan back, said, I found CrossFit, I love it. He says, cool, let's start a gym. He lives in Louisiana. I haven't seen him since I graduated college. It's like, all right, cool, let's start a gym. So that's what I did. He threw a couple
in your hometown? In your hometown?
Yeah, here in Lancaster.
Wow. Well, yeah. And did you fall in love right away with it?
I did. I loved it immediately. I mean, after the first workout, I hated it, but fell in love right away. And I was trying to train for a triathlon at the time too, and started doing CrossFit workouts at the rec center and getting all these funny looks and sore as hell, but really just loving it. And signed up for the cert in the end of December of 2009, and that was actually the first like CrossFit class that I'd ever been to. There wasn't a CrossFit gym out here. There's nothing like that. So, this is the first time I'd actually done it with coaches, with, any type of idea of like, this is what a squat really should feel like. Like, I understood what it should look like, but getting down below parallel is different than knowing what getting down below parallel looks like. So we did Fran. I was the last guy on the floor. I just get no rep left.
Me too.
Right. It was awful. Like, I love Thunderstruck, but man, every time I hear it, I get a little little PTSD.
Hey, how much was the bike you bought?
It was like $900.
And is it one of those purchases where it's so expensive you're like, I'm gonna get my $900 worth? You like, sometimes I'll do that to myself. I can remember like buying a camera that was outside of my budget and being like, okay, well, that means I need to take a shitload of photos.
Oh yeah, I have to do this. And it took a while to get the forgiveness part of that card in. Like, she was not happy. I had to like keep it in the garage or keep it in the basement so she didn't see it a lot. Like, cause she'd just get mad. Like, it was a big swing for me. We had a bunch of kids. I mean, we have a bunch of kids now, but at the time we had, I think 4. Like $900 was a lot of money. And
Wait, how many kids do you have?
I have 7 now.
Wow.
I know, it's so many. It's less than Glassman, which I learned has 10. So but more than Froning. So take that, Rich. I'm beating you at something.
And what's the age range of that?
My oldest is Nick. He is 25. He lives in Philly. He works for Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac doing computer stuff. He's getting married next August.
Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you. Next one down is Colby. He lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, selling roofs, I think, at this point. He was selling solar panels. Now he sells roofs. He's 23, 24. I think he'll be 24 in October. And then Madeline is 21. She is in Philly as well. She goes to Temple. She's a senior at Temple and actually works at Wodify with me. I got her, helped her get an internship, and they liked her so much they kept her on.
Wow.
Yeah. Lydia is my 18-year-old. She just started art school at MICA, Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore. She just started going there in the fall. Sean is 16. He is the one that is most like me, which is fun and terrifying and disturbing at the same time. It's really odd to try to like discipline yourself out of a small version of yourself. It's really uncomfortable. He's 16. He's a junior in high school. I was actually just up with him until like 2 a.m. last night, putting coilovers on his car with him. And he got this old BMW, and it needed some work. So,
good. I'm glad you were up late too. I drank. I had a late podcast last night, and I drank coffee, and next thing I knew, it was 1 a.m. I was like, "What have I done to myself?"
It's tough, right? Like sometimes I'll fall asleep. Like I'll sit here like this with my coffee in my lap and fall asleep. And sometimes I'll drink coffee at 2 in the afternoon. And I'm up till 2 a.m. So yeah, I was out in the garage with him, and then Justice is 13.
Great name. Great name.
Thank you, Justus. We thought that was funny because people would say, "Do you have any more kids?" Like, nope, just us. And then we had David. So David is 12.
You know what I hear when I hear that many kids is that you love your wife.
At least 7 times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Super good. Like I'm batting 1,000.
Yeah, congratulations. I only have 3, but if I would have started earlier, I could see myself having 7. It is it's the greatest. It's the greatest part of life.
There really is something like I mean, they're amazing, and each one of them is unique unto himself or herself, which is odd because like it's a fairly shallow gene pool, right? Like, how do they get so vastly different? And so all of them are good. Like I want to, like we're done now, and but quit while you're ahead, right? But man, we really have raised so far like some incredible human beings. Like my goal has always been to raise kids that I would like to hang out with if I wasn't related to them. To turn them into adults that I would like.
Yes. And, go ahead.
No, and so far so good.
Last night I hear some crying. One of my kids is in bed and he's crying. And I go into his room. I'm like, "Hey Ari, what's up, dude?" He's 8. He goes, "Avi," that's the older brother, 10. He goes, "Avi keeps calling me a retard."
He's not supposed to say that.
And I'm like, okay. And why are you upset? And he goes, "Because he says it. He just calls it to me so much." I'm like, "Well, you call once a day. You call me a fat man." And he goes, "Yeah, but I'm joking." And then I'm like, "Okay, you don't think he's joking?" He goes, "No, he means it." And I'm like, "Okay." So I rub his back, and I think he's asleep. And I walk out of the room. And as I'm walking out of the room, he goes, "Hey, you ever thought about like tucking your roll in underneath your belt line?" I'm like, "You fucking asshole."
You look retarded. You shut up.
Yeah, I was like, "Wait." He goes, "I'm like, I thought you said you didn't mean it." He goes, "I don't." And I'm just, but it reminded me. I'm like, that's totally something I would do to someone. Convince them that I'm joking, and then just sting them right back. Hey, let me work on that. Let me work on your insecurity a little bit.
Justice is funny. Like he's like my 13-year-old. When he was probably about 8. No, he was younger than that. He was much younger. She was still in diapers. I hear the bedroom door open. I hear like pitter patter, pitter patter. I hear the pantry door open, close, pitter patter, pitter patter. It's like middle of the night. Like, what is this kid doing? So I go into his room, and he's on the bottom bunk, curled in the corner like this, right, with the Ovaltine in his hand, just dipping in there and the chocolate. I go, "Justice, what are you doing?" He goes, "Nothing." And this whole cloud of chocolate smoke comes out of his mouth.
I can't remember the last time I didn't take a shower where someone walks by the shower and makes fun of my body. I have 3 boys. I cannot.
The door, man.
Like I'm like, "Hey, well, we don't have there's no door on this bathroom, and there's no shower. It's just like this shower you walk into. Okay. It's in my bedroom, and they always have. I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to take a shower and get clean and get made fun of. Here I go. That's like my humbling routine.
I walked into my room once. Same thing with Justice. He's our little funny kid. I came out of the shower into my bedroom. It's connected to the bedroom. And I didn't know this, but he was waiting for me to scare me in the room. And I And
Yeah.
I walk out, I open the door, I'm bare ass naked. And the intern goes, ah, ah! And
Hey, so I was at the games this year and they
yeah,
had like a 2-day like gathering of minds. It was coaches. Was that for coaches?
yeah, the owners and coaches conference.
Okay. And while I was in there, that's where I met you. And so I met you at it was at the Wodify booth, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because I remember meeting you there, but there were so many people there, and I couldn't place exactly if you were there as a gym owner or a coach or okay. And then
No,
what happened to your gym? You sold it or you closed it?
I sold it when I got sick.
Okay.
So that's yeah, I mean, we can skip ahead to that, or yeah, where do you want to go with that? So
Yeah. Tell me about that. How do you how did you get sick and what did you get sick with?
so I got sick in 2017 with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was the end of 2017. I was diagnosed. Yeah, I'd had the gym. I was working at the bank and running the gym at the same time back in 2010. And like miserable at the bank. It's just awful. I wore the same tie for 30 some odd days in a row just to see if anybody would say anything, not to see if they'd notice, but to see if they'd say anything. Finally, they fired me. I mean, I guess you probably shouldn't build one business on the computer at the desk while you're of another business while they're paying you to be there.
Right.
Yeah, so they probably had good reason, but that really gave me the opportunity to jump in full time to the gym and make it what it was. That was in 2010, I think May of 2010, and kept growing. And then in 2017, I was coaching one of the classes, and I'm pretty gregarious, and CrossFit coach, like do it again, do it better, do it faster, do it heavier, and this time I was just sitting on a pile of bumper plates. It was all pasty, and I had this pain in my side, and Ellie, that one of the nutritionists that worked for us, she never really minced any words. She was not subtle. Like about maybe 6 months prior to this, I said, Kelly, like I'm feeling like kind of old and fat. I need some help, like with my diet. And she says, Tim, you're not old. Just kind of like, oh man. So she looks at me and it's like, Tim, you gotta go. Like something's wrong. You need to go to the doctor, like right now. Like we'll lock up, but you need to leave. So I went to the ER, or I went to the urgent care first, and they told me I pulled a muscle or I had gas. Like, which would you like us to treat you for? And either one was likely. So I said, give me something for the muscles, and we'll see what happens. I said, great. Take some Flexerol, and you'll be fine by midnight. So I got the Flexerol. I took that. I took a fistful of Advil, and by midnight it hurt so bad that I drove myself to the ER. Like something is. This isn't a pulled muscle, and I'm pretty sure this isn't just gas. Like something's wrong. So I got to the ER. They took a CAT scan. Gave me some pain meds, but really didn't tell me what was going on. Like they told me a lot of things I didn't have. I didn't have impacted bowels. I didn't pull a muscle. I didn't have gas. My spleen was fine. My appendix wasn't rupturing. Like there's all these things that it didn't cause this pain. But I kept asking, like, great, like I'm very glad, but what is this? Like, what's going on? And they kept saying, well, the ER's job is to fix the acute problem and get you to your primary care physician. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. But like, I don't have cancer, do it. Like, what is happening? Like, I'm running out of options.
Oh, you went there.
I did, yeah, because I'm running out of options. Like,
yeah,
you're all the obvious things are gone. So go to your doctor. So I went to my doctor. That like I was able to get in the next day, and they're running all these tests for lupus and like all this stuff that I kind of knew it wasn't, but you got to jump through the hoops and make sure that you don't immediately go nuclear. And then, so that was Friday. And then Saturday morning, I was able to log into the hospital's portal and see my records. And I saw the CAT scan report that the doctor that I was talking to wrote. And his first line is like, primary concern is lymphoma, secondary concern is testicular cancer. I'm like, well, holy shit, I don't have ball cancer. Like that was the first thought that ran through my head. But then the second one was like, damn it, this guy knew. Like he knew that I was in a bad way. And he just kept, bobbing and weaving. Like just, a better answer would have been like, you know what? You might. I don't want to say yes or no, but you might really go see the doctor. Yeah, so I went back to my doc on Monday and just tore into him for no good reason. It wasn't his fault. Like he didn't have the report either, but I just needed to yell at the closest medical professional I could find, and let him have it, and then apologize because I knew it wasn't his fault, right? But and then it became a game of hurry up and wait. Like you got to see the oncologist as soon as possible, and that's in 2 weeks. Well, that doesn't seem like as soon as possible at all, but okay. And that until that point became the worst 2 weeks of my life. Just all this uncertainty, all this fear, like all this Dr. Google research, like trying to figure out what lymphoma is, what testicular cancer is, what they look like, what are the symptoms, what are the causes, what are the treatments, what are the prognosis, what's the outlook, and all this time, like who do you tell? Like you don't want to be the boy that cried cancer, right? Like
Right,
right. You tell your wife, you tell your family, you tell one or two people, maybe.
And you're in a lot of pain still?
And I'm in a ton of pain. Like this shit hurts because there's this big mass of lymph nodes on my left side that was just, and that's what gave it away. Like if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have gone to the doctor until it was far too late. But it was that big mass of pain that got me going. But yeah, it still hurt.
And what is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? Why do they call it non-Hodgkin's?
There's Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's. It's a different mechanism. I think Hodgkin's might have been the doctor that found the Hodgkin's kind, and then there's a different kind, but don't quote me on that. Like I'm not a doctor.
Okay. I like the non part. I want like if I get one, I want the non one.
Nah, it doesn't really help.
No.
They all
Okay.
Yeah, it's all bad. But and lymphoma is like the Baskin Robbins of cancer. There's like 37 different flavors and all this stuff. So my official diagnosis was diffuse large B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And your lymph nodes are like the filters for your blood. It's like Brita for your blood.
Okay.
Runs parallel to your circulatory system, and everything kind of flows through it. So if it gets in there, it gets in your blood. If it gets in your blood, it can get anywhere.
Okay.
So it's not great. It's not a tumor. It's not a, what I had, this mass wasn't a tumor. It was just enlarged lymph nodes. But
what are they trying to do with the cancer? Are they do the lymph nodes have a mechanism to dispense with the cancer?
Yeah, they should.
Okay.
They should be getting rid of all that stuff. It's kind of what they do. They filter out all the impurities and all the crap, and make sure your blood is clean. Some people it doesn't work, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not like I had a genetic predisposition for it. There's no such thing. It's not like I did all the I didn't smoke. I didn't college, but I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't do drugs. I'm exercising 5-6 times a week, eating right. There's nothing that I did that would have brought this on. It's just roll the dice.
And I'm assuming you became kind of an expert on it. You start consuming everything, every video, book,
everything. And that's scary too, because like you become an expert in a part of the conversation that you're reading, but you're not an expert on all the conversation that led up to that. So like I read a medical journal about XYZ, but this is answering a specific question that was asked back here that was brought from a question that was brought back here. So like you have a very limited ball of knowledge without any context, or with little context. So sometimes it gets scarier than it was. And my oncologist kept yelling at me, like, don't read that stuff. Like, just if you have a question, here's my phone number. Like, ask me. But don't get too involved in Dr. Google, because he's going to tell you you're going to die. Like, that's Dr. Google.
And was there anything that you read that was extremely helpful? Was there any book or any story or anything that? No, there was not something you would recommend to someone.
No, the biggest thing to recommend to people was to find other people that have survived. That was a bigger help than anything else. Really, there wasn't one book like, oh, that's the one that's going to solve it.
Like, hey, just eat broccoli from here on out and you're good.
No, but people did suggest that, like eat oxygenated, extra oxygenated water, or like strawberry seed, like all these people that were trying to be helpful with all these, all natural remedies, which I'm sure have their place, but it's not gonna fix this. Like I'm beyond cleaning up my diet at this point.
Had you started photography yet?
Yeah, I had. So my dad was a wedding photographer. So I was always kind of surrounded by that. We would go out and take pictures together, and that was one of our things we did. And then I kind of got away from it for a while, in that film to digital transition. It's kind of on the backside of it, and never really like my camera got all messed up, and I just never picked up another one. And then when I had the gym, I just Google cool CrossFit picture, copy paste, put that on the website with the WOD for the day, and that worked great until I got a nasty gram from Getty Images and a bill for like $1,200. Like, hey, it was a drawing of Santa Claus, standing on the scale, all skinny and jacked, holding his pants up, and I used that for the Christmas WOD, and they sent me a bill, and I said, no, I'm not gonna pay that bill. Oh my gosh, that's my Instagram.
Can you imagine doing wedding photography when it wasn't digital? The pressure that would be on you.
I can remember it. Like, I remember my dad freaking out because, like, I mean, if the exposure's wrong or something's not right, you can't chimp it and look and see if you got it. Like, even as a digital, it's tough. Like that's the first kiss. If I blew it, I blew it. Like, they can't redo that. That was super stressful.
And you can take 10 pictures at once. He had to take like one at a time.
One of them's going to be in focus, I promise.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I remember like my parents in the middle of the night with wedding albums out all over the place, like all the pictures out and all the pages out, trying to lay it all out. And it was bonkers. So instead of paying that bill, I bought a camera, and instead of putting the cool people from CrossFit.com on the website, I put Jeff, I put Kim, I put Kathy, I put Alex. Like, this is the guy from the 530 class. Like, yeah. This is cool. Like, this isn't just some superhero doing something amazing in aromas. I was there. Like, and now you're the hero of the day. You're the face of fitness for the day. And that was a huge help in building the community up. And that's where I really cut my teeth, from 2011 or 12 on.
Did you go Nikon or Canon?
Nikon.
Always
was.
So you get the diagnosis.
Yep.
And you own the gym. Mm-hmm. And at that time, did you have you had all 7 kids?
All 7 kids. Yep. All 7.
What was the decision in selling the gym? That must have been wild, having 7 kids and getting diagnosed with cancer.
It was.
I'm assuming that's all you think about.
Yeah. And it was not a great day, and having the conversation, it was 7 very distinct conversations with each of the kids. Like, as they got younger, they understood less and less. Like Nick had just graduated, or was just about to graduate high school. He was a senior in high school. He always felt like he got all the news last on a text message. I want to make sure that I told him first in person. And by the time he got to Lydia, I think she was in 6th grade at the time. I think she kind of had it the hardest. Like, she was still at that age where daddy's a superhero.
Right.
But also old enough to understand that this is bad, and that dissonance was not great. But by the time we got to David, it's like, daddy's going to be home a lot more, and he's not going to have any hair, and please shut up. Like, please be quiet. I love you very much. Go away.
And why did you sell the gym?
Well, I didn't want to. I mean, I was planning on transitioning out at some point. Like, it's a tough gig. It's a tough gig to run an affiliate. Like, I was there for a long time, but I wasn't like across in New England. Like, I wasn't, or Mayhem. Like, I wasn't making a killing. I was making it, but I wasn't making money hand over fist. It was a struggle all the time. Like, enough money, but like, I was there at 5:30-ish in the morning, and there until about 9. At that point, the kids were already awake and fed and clothed and off to school. And then I could come home during the day if I wanted to, but I didn't usually. But then I had to go back in the evening when the kids needed to be fed and do the homework and get to bed and all that stuff. So all that stuff fell on Trish, which was not fair. There was a lot to ask of her. And it was grinding. It was a grind. Even hiring other coaches. Now we had a great crew of coaches, but still, like running a CrossFit box. I mean, it's a lot more like running a church or a bar than it is like Planet Fitness. Like, the charisma of the leader is important. Like, who's in charge matters. And if you're not around, things suffer. So it was tough to choose between, I can do stuff with my family or I can do stuff with the gym, and both are important, and I can't do both at the same time. With 7 kids, it was so hard. So I was looking to move out. I got my real estate license. I started selling houses, and the plan was to make a smooth transition, not so abrupt. But then I got this diagnosis, and your life changes immediately. You're now split in half, like before cancer and after cancer.
And was it difficult to make the decision?
Yeah,
Or it was difficult
it
to
was
sell the gym?
it was awful. Like it was tough. Like I don't think I ever liked myself as much as a human being as when I had the gym. I wasn't as So.
And do you start freaking out about finances too?
Oh yeah, all the time. I was always freaked out about finances.
Yeah, if you have 7 kids and you have to quit your job and you have to focus on yourself and get better, how do you make ends meet?
So thankfully, I had a wonderful support system. That guy Ryan that started the gym with me started a GoFundMe, which I wouldn't have done in a million years. Like I hate being on the receiving end of charity. Like I just can't stand it.
I get that.
But what was I gonna do? So he started this GoFundMe. Other people gave me money through other things. My parents were able to help out a lot, which is a huge help. I still sold a couple of houses, so I was still trying to do what I could. I sold the gym, but really I sold the equipment. I wasn't really in a negotiating position when I sold it. So one of the other coaches took it over. So we did the best we could with that, but it was some lean times.
And what was that journey like? How do you eventually beat it?
I did. I hope. Like so far.
Does it come back?
If it hasn't by now, it probably won't.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Thanks. The first 6 months are the worst after the treatment that I got for coming back is the most likely. But after that, as you get farther and farther out, it gets less and less. So I'm at about a 50-50 chance that it might come back.
Right now, or you were?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. And does that weigh on you?
I try not to let it in a bad way. I try to use that as a motivation.
Like to leverage it. Like if you're gonna eat a piece of cake, you'll be like, nope, don't do that. Like stuff like that.
No, not like that. As much as like there's shit that I want to do.
Oh, okay.
Like
seize the day. More seize the day.
Don't be a pussy. Like I've got a 50-50
chance
to get to 50. With my stats. So I want to get stuff done that I want to get done, and I don't want to let. And it really caused a lot of like existential angst. Is really what happened.
Yeah.
But like I got very tired of trying to pretend to be somebody that I necessarily wasn't.
Right.
Or like wearing these masks for people like to try to not rock the boat or keep the status quo or not upset people. And I got tired of that. It just got too heavy to do it. It's kind of like holding a beach ball underwater.
Yeah.
Like eventually you just get tired and poof, it blows up.
And then basically you're like, hey, I have limited time. I'm going to stop. There's things that I'm bullshit kind of like programs I'm running in my brain that I'm going to stop. I'm giving up. Fuck that. I'm not wasting my life being like that.
No, life is too short to be unhappy. Especially for that reason, so that I can please other people.
Yeah. It's really interesting. There's this word of being a nice person. No one taught me this better than Dave Castro. And we're all raised to be nice people, and you want your kids to be nice people. And then I was around Dave a lot when I first started working at CrossFit, and I thought, oh man, this guy's not a nice guy. But he's a really honest guy and a transparent guy and a truthful guy. And very shortly, over a couple of years, I realized, I'd rather be around honest people with a lot of integrity than people who are nice, like any day.
Right.
And
it could be nice. Like,
yeah,
you can be kind and not necessarily be nice, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, nice, and you can still be thoughtful also.
Yeah.
Let people take parking spots from you, let people go behind you in the line.
Right.
You see poop on the ground, dog poop, and you have an extra bag, you pick it up. It's not like you still do all that, but you don't I kind of see nice as almost like dimming your own light for others. instead of just letting your light shine bright.
Yeah. Yeah. Just being like a people pleaser kind of nice is not, that doesn't help anybody. You know,
Right.
there's a severe lack of authenticity, I think, uh, in most things. Because of Facebook and Instagram and social media and stuff, like we scroll through everybody's highlight reel, and none of that is, very little of that is real. But it makes you feel bad about what you have, because you're comparing, the best thing that they could possibly post to whatever, shitty cup of coffee you're sitting in front of now, and it just
Right.
makes you feel awful, right? It's just this comparison to other people is
The one
rough.
that always gets me is when people are swimming in crystal blue water. I'm like, where the fuck is that?
Where is that? Like,
Where
what
is
water is
that?
that? There's an Instagram page called Influencers in the Wild, and it's just
uh,
all these people, like, a picture lies to you. It shows you this much of the reality, and like it looks like this beautiful crystal blue water, this gorgeous water, and there's grasses and all that, but really you're like in essentially a drainage ditch, but you only see this much of it, so it looks like you're in this tropical paradise. So you're leaning on your Lamborghini, but it's not your Lamborghini. You rented it, or you saw it next to someone else. Like,
Tim, there was this the first time I had experience with someone with cancer. I was a nanny. I was 19 years old, for these two boys from Hong Kong. The parents were import export people from Hong Kong, very wealthy, and the wife came down with cancer, breast cancer, and I had a million questions for her when
mm-hmm.
she told me. And afterwards, she told me, like a couple of days later, she goes, "Hey, thank you for talking to me about that," in her broken English. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, I was digging into your life. Like, and she's like, no, she's like, most people will just start saying, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, they're
Um,
terrified of
and
what
you
they
didn't
do.
do that. You were just like, what the fuck? What is that? How do you
Yeah,
get that? Like, and that was a huge moment gift she gave me by letting me know that, like, yeah, people don't, once again, it's that niceness thing. That, "Oh, I'm so sorry," is kind of like niceness,
mm-hmm.
instead of like, "Hey, just be this person's just looking for something real."
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to ask.
People, like, they freak out and they don't know what to do. Like especially with cancer, like with other diseases, it's not so bad. It's not as much. But when you say you have cancer, and like all these walls shoot up immediately, and
Yeah.
people just, I don't know if it's because they're kind of confronted with their own mortality, or what it is, but like, people like, "Oh, I heard you got cancer," like, and they whisper it. Like, if you say it loud, it's going to get worse or something. Like,
Right.
and they just don't know. And when I was sick, like, there's people that I thought would be there that gone, just didn't know what to do and just ghosted me. And
Yeah.
people that I never in a million years would have expected to be the presence that they were, that were rocks. It was unbelievable. Like, the way that people respond, and that authenticity is real. Like,
Yeah. It lets people, when something bad happens to someone in your circle, whether you're friends with them or not, it's a moment for those people to see who they really are. Like, it's
mm-hmm.
all, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
sometimes it could be someone that you don't necessarily like, and something bad happens to them, and you still don't like it.
right,
You're like, fuck that.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's a great opportunity. No one should ever be afraid to act on that, by the way, too. Someone you're not necessarily friends with or close to, and something bad happens to them, or you've had beef with them, it's perfectly okay to reach out to them and let them know you're rooting for them.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much shit that everybody is dealing with. Like, you just having someone in your corner, especially people that you didn't expect, makes all the difference in the world. When I was, this is a neat story. When I was sick, you said, "How do we get by?" Like, I got sick in October.
Mm.
Christmas is coming. What the hell are we going to do? I got 7 kids. My high school class, people that I haven't seen in, gosh, 30 years. I'm going to my 30th reunion in 2 weeks, actually.
Oh.
A bunch of them rallied together and brought out a literal truckload of presents for Christmas for us. Like,
Wow.
and the woman that organized the whole thing, her name is Katie. I forgot that she even went to school with me. I remember her from grade school. I don't remember her being in high school at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But she's like, "This is something we have to do." And all these people that I have not spoken with just stepped up in such a huge way. That was completely unexpected. One guy, his brother owns a painting company, and they said, "What can we do to help?" And like, they looked around my house, like, "Well, look, you've got 7 kids living in here. You could probably use a coat of paint. Like, let's make the house look nice." Did I have any real like measurable impact on the efficacy of my treatment? Probably not.
Right.
But it made me coming home feel that much better. Like, I could look around and my house looks good.
Yeah.
It looks nice. And just things like that like you don't expect. It isn't the normal way that you would think, oh, how can I help? That was just blew my mind.
Was there anything that are there any correlates to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? Like did you stop drinking coffee, or is there anything that is known to clog the lymph nodes?
Not that I could find.
Interesting.
It's again, I'm not a doctor, but when I learned, there was no real like easy correlates of XYZ. It's not like if you smoke a pack a day, chances are better you're going to get lung cancer. You drink all the time, chances are going to get liver cancer. Like, it's not. There's not a correlate like that. It's.
How long has it been around? How long have they been giving the diagnosis of lymphoma?
I don't know. A while. Blood cancer's been around for a long time. How long it's been around is a different question than how long since they've been diagnosing it. But I don't know. It's been a while, at least 50 years. So you
go to your first appointment 2 weeks after you read the report in your portal, your hospital portal, and what do they tell you? Do they tell you right away, hey, there's things we got to do right now?
So I get to the oncologist. He looks at my chart. He orders some biopsies. Got a bone marrow biopsy. Those are fun. You ever have one of them? Probably not.
Sounds crazy. The marrows, that's the shit that's inside your bone, right?
Yeah. And
I can only imagine how they get that.
There's a needle. It's like a T-shaped needle, and they kind of twist and get it until it pops in your hip. And then it's an extractor. And they pull it out of your hip.
Tim, I hate the thought of a biopsy. When I hear biopsy, I hear them. So when I think of cancer, I had a dog that had cancer, and they told me it was going to die. It was 7. And there's like, hey, there's nothing you can do. I'm like, well, it was in his leg. It was a Great Dane. And I'm like, I don't care. Take that leg off. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, take his leg off and his shoulder and fucking everything.
Ugh.
And they're like, okay. But he had a big, on his leg, he had this big nodule. And I said, hey, what is that? And they said, that's the body trying to build bone marrow around where the cancer, not bone marrow. What's the stuff with the white stuff? Whatever the white stuff is.
It's or something, or like a.
It's building more bone there to try to
calcium or
contain the cancer. I said, cool, take it out and take it off. And he lived another 7 years, which was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And but my thought is if they do a biopsy, can't that disturb the cancer and cause it to get into the bloodstream and get everywhere?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the biopsies are pretty small. Like, they had to do one on that mass.
Yeah, that part freaks me out. Biopsies freak me out. It's like something's somewhere and it's there, and then you poke a hole to double check, but when you poke a hole in it, it leaks out.
Right, yeah. I think it was a pretty small hole. When I got the bone marrow biopsy, the girl that was doing it, she weighed like 100 pounds soaking wet. I've been doing CrossFit for 10 years, so my bones are dense.
Yeah.
She's just, I can't seem to get it. And then finally got in. And then they did the biopsy on the mass in my back, and the doc's like, usually people's back muscles are like this, but yours are like this. So you're able to get in and get it out. And actually, that relieved a lot of the pain. I think, if anything, it maybe relieved some of the pressure or nudged it a little bit. It got it off my nerve. So then maybe a couple days later, comes back with the results. Says, yeah, you have is this diffuse large B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Here's the procedure. We've got 6 rounds of, he called it chemotherapy, which drove me insane. Like, that's not how you say that word. Like, please say chemotherapy right, because it doesn't make me confident in the rest of this. But okay, chemotherapy, great. 6 rounds of chemo once every 3 weeks. It's the stuff called R-CHOP.
You take, are those pills?
No, I had to get a port put on a little scar right there. My kids call it the triple nipple. it's like a little Bosu ball in my chest, and they would insert the chemo right into that. Like it's under my skin, like they had to like stab me with it every time. But if they put the chemo in a vein, the chance is that they miss, and then all that poison isn't where it's supposed to be, and that's much worse than getting it where it is supposed to be. So I got the Bosu ball put in on Halloween of 2017, and I got my first round of chemo on November 1st,
And
2017.
and it's in an IV bag and it just drips into your
Yeah,
bloodstream.
it just dripped in. It took the whole day. The first one took 2 days. They gave me, so our chop is a cocktail of
2 days.
4 or 5 different things. So a couple hours the first day, make sure I didn't have a reaction to it, and then a couple hours the second day. But then after that, every time after that, it was 1 day, just a couple big bags, and I got there in the morning and I sat there till about 4, 3 or 4. Yep, that was the first one. There it is. That's when I had pecs.
And so they do that to you, and what's the chemo supposed to do? It just starts killing things inside your body, all sorts of things.
Yeah, so the chemo, it really is poison, right? It goes after the fast dividing cells. And cancer is a very fast dividing cell, but so is like hair, which is why when you get chemo, you lose all your hair because it's also a fast dividing cell.
Okay.
And the hope is
I never knew that. Thank you.
Yeah, the hope is that it kills the cancer before it kills you. They do the best, and certain cancers have a different response rate to different chemos. It's not like chemo is one thing. There's all these different kinds of chemo. What they told me was with mine, it's 80 some odd percent effective. So after you go through your 6 rounds, you'll have, it's something like an 85% success rate. It means that you'll have been put in remission and then stay in remission for at least 5 years. And that was the definition of success. So I got a PET scan right in the beginning there, and I lit up like a Christmas tree. It was all over the place. It had stayed in my lymph system. It hadn't gone to other systems, so there wasn't any in my bone marrow, any organs, but it was up above and below my diaphragm, which meant I was stage 3. So it was kind of everywhere.
The cancer was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's scary as shit.
Yeah, it is. That's not a good picture to look at. That's terrifying. So we started right away. I got 3 rounds.
Sorry, I got to go back a second. Sorry, maybe I wasn't listening and I was scrolling through your Instagram, but if it's isolated in your lymph nodes, how is it everywhere? Is it everywhere and it's coming to your lymph nodes and your lymph nodes is grabbing your lymph node is grabbing
all
it?
over your body. You've got about 600 of them.
Oh, so in these lymph node filter tanks, there's signs of cancer in all of them. Like all of them are catching cancer and being like, oh, you're not getting back out. You're not getting back. Is that what they're basically doing? They're grabbing cancer cells as they come through and holding them?
Yeah, but then the cancer cells are multiplying in there.
Oh, shit. Hey, what is the mechanism for lymph nodes to get rid of them? Do you know? Is there any simple
like your white blood cells? Like your white blood cells are supposed to take care of this stuff. Like your immune system is
like your T cells are supposed to kill them, right?
Right. Yeah, that's their job. Right? Their T cells are supposed to take care of them. And mine were asleep at the wheel.
Hey, I know I'm probably not going to have a medical breakthrough here, but can't they just take a shitload of T cells from someone else and inject them into you, and then they start kicking ass on those ones, the bad guys?
So that's the treatment that I got essentially. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, but that's
so
yeah. The first rounds that R-CHOP stuff didn't work.
Like, oh no shit! So the chemo didn't work. The chemotherapy
didn't do a thing. It made me uncomfortable for 6 weeks. After the 3rd round, I told my docs, like, I don't think this is working. Like something, I don't know, man. Like this doesn't feel right. He says, no, trust the chemotherapy. Give it time to work. Okay. So I got through the last round. I got my last round of R-CHOP on Valentine's Day, which is super romantic.
And how many is that? It's 6 rounds, you said?
6 rounds, yeah, every 3 weeks. And this is the time that I sold the gym too. I thought I'd be able to go to chemo on Wednesday and take Thursday and Friday off, and then back there 5:30 in the morning on Monday morning. And I did that once. So this is not happening. There's no way. So one of the coaches, I gave one of the coaches the opportunity, like, run this for 6 months and see what you think. And at the end of 6 months, if you want it, we can figure something out. So I just handed her the keys. So here, run with this. Like, make it happen. And all the other coaches like really stepped up. Like the one coach said, like something to the effect of, "There's no reason for this to die just because you might. We want to keep this alive." And they did. But once I knew that, and especially like once I knew that like the first treatment didn't work, and I had a tough road to hoe ahead of me, I couldn't in good conscience let them continue to just run it while I was not there.
Right.
So that's when we decided to move it to the other owners. So I got those first 3 rounds. I told him it didn't work. He said, "Don't trust it." Got through my last round, did a PET scan, I think in the very beginning of March, like 2 weeks afterwards or so. Got a PET scan, and I got a call that day, the next day. It's like, "Hey, can you come see the doctor now?" Well, this doesn't sound like good news at all. Like the doctor never hustles you into the office to give you the good news. So that's not what they do.
A PET scan is a nuclear medicine imaging test that uses radioactive tracers to visualize and assess physiological processes in the body. Okay.
Yep. So what they do is they give you this. I think it was an injected isotope. It was full of essentially sugar, and the cancer cells eat that. They love sugar. So when you do the scan, all the stuff that the cancer cells are eating, all the sugar stuff, that lights up. It heats them up.
Okay.
So you could see like all this stuff. So I get to the doctor. Yes, he's like, "Can you come in at 2:30?" I'm like, "Well, it's 2." Like, "Yeah, can you get her?" So I got there at 2:30. And so like, this didn't work. This didn't work. You have nearly as much cancer now as you did at the beginning.
Wow.
So with cancer, there's 3 R's, right? The first R is remission. That's the good one. Like, you used to have cancer, we pumped you full of medicine, now you don't. Good R. Second one's a relapse. Like, you used to have cancer, then you didn't, but now you do again. That's relapse. That's less good. And then the third one is called refractory, which means we came to us with cancer, we gave you a bunch of medicine, and you left still with cancer. Like your disease is not responding to the medicine that we gave it, and that's particularly bad news. And that's when you take that 85% success rate and you flip it on its head. Like, now you're in a very bad way at this point. And there wasn't a lot of options for what to do after that. And where I was, they couldn't do any of them. This is kind of the first line of defense. Like, and I think I could have gone to any hospital in the world and they would have given me the same medicine, the same protocol, the same treatment. Like, they all followed the same flow chart. So it didn't matter. Like, the guy couldn't pronounce chemotherapy. He still gave me the right medicine. But now this is beyond what Lancaster Hematology and Oncology is able to do. So now you got to go to Hershey Medical Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. You got to go there and see a new team, and they'll discuss what your options are. And at the time when I was going in, the next and really last rung on the ladder was a bone marrow transplant. Where they suck my bone marrow out and then replace it with someone else's, which is essentially an organ transplant. It's just like a liver or a heart or lungs.
Bone marrow, is that where red blood cells are made?
Yeah, that's where all your blood cells are made.
Even the white ones?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So they kill mine and then put this donor marrow in. And it's not like finding a blood match, like B positive and B positive, good to go. There's 14 or 16, I think it's 14 different proteins that have to match. And if they don't, you reject that bone marrow just as you would reject a kidney or a liver if it was a bad fit. Yeah, but then
is this bone marrow from a dead person?
No, it's from a live person. It's from a live donor.
And do they check the donor to make sure, like, hey, this motherfucker produces some badass T cells? You know what I mean?
I don't think they do. I don't think they have that kind of luxury. I think
so it's kind of a little bit of roulette. For all you know, you're getting someone else who is 5 years away from getting lymphoma themselves.
They definitely test it before they give it to you and make sure there's nothing in there.
Right.
But I don't think they go looking for like anyone with super marrow.
Okay.
My parents couldn't donate. My sister couldn't donate. She was pregnant. My parents were too old. So we had to go to the Be the Match database where there's 400,000 or so people that have volunteered their marrow. And I found 2 matches there. So my doctor explains, I get the new doctor, Dr. Amon in Hershey. He's fantastic. We meet him. Again, it's like a 2-week wait.
Does he
And she
say
said,
chemotherapy or does he say
he says
chemo?
chemotherapy. Yeah, he says it
Oh,
the right way and everything. It's
oh,
great.
that's awesome. Okay.
So he said all the words right. And then so he explains like this is what a bone marrow transplant is. We can't use your marrow. Like sometimes you do what you said, like take your marrow out and do stuff with it and put it back in, use your own.
Oh,
Yours suck. So we don't want to do that. So we got to get someone else's bone marrow in there to do that. And we got to find a match. It's going to take most of the summer to find a match. This is April. It's going to take till the fall before we can figure out what's going to happen. And then when you get a bone marrow transplant, it's not an easy process and it's not a fast process on the other side. Like they talk about getting back to normal in terms of months and years before you're back to yourself. This is a big deal. And it's 50-50. Your success rate is still about 50-50 for 5 years. So do you understand it? Yeah, I get it. I said, okay, I've got this other idea. How would you like to be the first one here in Hershey to get this new treatment called CAR T, which is bonkers. This stuff is science fiction. So with CAR T, they extract a couple million of my T cells that you talked about, and they put me on a apheresis machine. They put a disturbingly large catheter right in my jugular. It's like a drinking straw. They take it out and they put it through this machine that spins it into, he called it Neapolitan ice cream, right? You split it into vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. We take the strawberry out, put the vanilla and chocolate back in. And then we take those T cells, ship them off to California in right by the airport in LAX. Yeah, there you go. And they genetically modify and multiply these cells over the span of about a month and then ship them back. And these cells are trained to fight my specific cancer. So like if you and I were in the same room with the same diagnosis and we got the wrong bags, we both end up in the same morgue. Like it doesn't work.
wow.
Mine doesn't work for you. It's
Wow.
one shot, individual, personalized medicine. So I was the first person at Hershey to get that. So he explained the downsides and the upsides of both. And he said, look, like this is a once and done treatment. You get it. You spend a couple weeks in the hospital. And if it worked, it worked. And then you're back to normal again in terms of weeks and months, not months and years. And that was really appealing because I was 40 years old. Like I didn't want to spend years, getting back to some semblance of normalcy. I wanted to get, like I was having this existential angst. I had things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to spend years getting better, trying to figure out how to do it. So that was really appealing. The survival rate is about the same. It's about 50-50. Like,
yeah, I'm looking. It says it says about 52% to 80%.
Yeah, it's not dramatically better than a bone marrow transplant, but the upside downside was better. Like, and then the downside was that if I got the bone marrow transplant at Hershey and it didn't work, I'd have to go somewhere else to get the CAR T. Like I couldn't do it there. I don't know what the reason was, but I'd have to go elsewhere. And I didn't know where that would be. And it wasn't 25 minutes from my house, no matter where it was. But if I got the CAR T at Hershey and it didn't work, I could stay there and get a bone marrow transplant.
Okay.
So I had more local options if things went south with the CAR T than I did with the bone marrow transplant. And I was a little nervous because like I'm the first person to get this at Hershey, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I know the first time I've done things is almost never the best that I've done things. Like,
okay.
Yeah, so I was worried about that, but I also knew like this isn't like hold my beer and check this out. Like this was, this is some of the best trained doctors in the world. They didn't just watch a YouTube video like I was doing with Sean and his coilovers last night. Like these guys got education and training and experience and the systems in place to make it all happen. I also figured that the first person that get this would probably have a lot more eyes on them than like the third or fourth, because they want me to be a success story, right? It's a tough sell if I die. Like if they give it to me and I don't make it, it's tough to say, well, yeah, Tim didn't do it right, but you are going to be fine.
Like the crazy part is too is the chance for human error, right? Like the bag gets switched up somewhere, like just something dumb happens and you get the wrong one. Yeah.
Like, they were pretty careful about treating the thing that was funny about the bag when they took it out of me. They flew it. The girl, I forget her name, but anyway, she was at, I think it was Teresa. She was the rep for the drug company, and she was responsible for bringing my cells from Pennsylvania to California. And she gets this little Ziploc bag, it was a medical Ziploc bag. It was essentially a Ziploc bag, and they put it in an igloo cooler. Like the kind of thing that you would put like a couple beers and a sandwich in when you go fishing.
Yeah.
I got it in a garage sale for $5. Like that's what they put it in. I kept like, man, there's got to be a more efficient way to get my cells there. I thought maybe even just, fly me to California. I'll bring them to you. Take them out right there.
That seems like I like that. Option. Yeah.
But that didn't happen. So they got it there. I actually ended up going to the facility in El Segundo.
Oh, you did?
I did. And I spoke to them. They did their 6,000th dose. So they invited me out to speak to this factory, this medical facility of people that like knew me on a molecular level. This
is after you were cured?
Yeah, after I was cured. This was in 20.
Are you just like, thank you so, are you just like 5 minutes of thanking them?
Pretty much. Yeah. Like,
I would be just like, oh my God, thank you. Here's my family. They thank you.
Yeah. Everybody here, like it was, so, I mean, they brought the C-suites down. They from Santa Monica. They closed the whole place down to have a huge party to celebrate the 6,000th dose. And I was their keynote speaker. It was a really neat experience. So yeah, I met people that played with my T cells.
Wow, this is crazy. How long had that been around before you got the treatment?
Not terribly long in medical terms. I was, I think, probably the 500th or so person ever to get it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it was still like...
Was the place full of Indian and Asian people?
No.
Oh, that's a bad sign.
They know their medicine.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really... I mean, there's a lot of people that were there. There wasn't... I don't remember the specific makeup of all of them. But it wasn't like they weren't, a lot of them weren't doctors. A lot of them were med techs. Like they were biologists and chemists, but not necessarily MDs.
Right.
They put this stuff in, they put in this purple goop, and that encouraged the cells to divide. And then there's this whole process of keeping it clean and keeping it moving at every step along the way. It's really wild to see what happened. All this to make one bag of medicine for one guy.
Yeah.
It's not like they're just pumping out Tylenol. This is for me, and that's it. And nobody else.
Hey, when you're making these decisions, like obviously they're your decisions. What is your wife telling you at this time?
So all the decisions were made, with her, of course. Like, we talked through all this stuff. Like, I remember like sitting in the kitchen once, like reading that my survival chances are like 15%, and just breaking down. Like, I don't want it.
Like after the chemo.
After the chemo didn't work, like once I figured out what refractory meant and all that it meant, like I just broke down. But yeah, all this stuff was made, with her helping along and her being there, and I couldn't have. She was a phenomenal caregiver. She was excellent, and I was a dick. Like when I was sick, I was an asshole. Yeah, and that whole RCHOP thing. One of the P is prednisone. It's a steroid. Is that apparently that'll get the cancer cells really pissed off and make it easier for the chemo to find them. But it also makes you a dick. It gives you a really short fuse. And I got 9 little matches, running around my house. I got 7 kids, a dog, and Trish. All of them just tearing around the house. And I'm just trying to sit down and be quiet and get better. And after the 3rd round, so 1 week my parents would come out, and then the next round my sister would come out, and then the next round my parents came out. And so after round 3, I was sitting in my room in the dark, my big brown leather cancer recliner, just hiding from everybody. And my sister was there at that time. And she comes in and says, "Hey, listen, when I go back home, why don't I take you with me? I'll drop you off at mom and dad's. It's quiet there. You can just relax and not worry about this stuff." And I said, "No, I can't do that to Trish. Like, that's not fair to Trish at all. Like, then she's got to do all the cooking and all the, like, that puts everything on her. And I can't do that. That's not fair." And Allie says, no, you're misunderstanding. This was Trish's idea. Like, you're leaving. The question isn't whether you want to go. The question is, what do you want to pack? And so me and the dog and Allie went out to my parents' house, and I wrote it out for a couple of days there until I was better. Because each round in that first steps, like, was progressively worse. Like the first one wasn't so bad. Yeah, and you feel kind of icky. Yeah, and then by the time you get like, and then you really dip down a bit, and then by like the Sunday before the Wednesday treatment, you start to feel pretty good. And then Wednesday you get your treatment, and then you dip a little bit lower the next time. You don't come down back up quite as high, and then a little bit lower. You don't bounce back up quite as high again. And like it's just the cumulative wear is just it just sucks the life out of you. And I had no patience. I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't eat. My mouth was full of sores. Like I'm contemplating my own mortality on a regular basis. Like I was not a pleasure to be with.
You know what's interesting about that is, and this is going to sound really, I don't know, maybe morbid or selfish, but when there was this, when people in groups, something happens to them, right? So there's a cohort of friends, and one husband cheats on his wife. All the other, it's bad for all the other wives because then they start, it spreads like a disease. They're like, hey, has my husband been cheating on me? You know what I mean? And,
I mean, I don't know what you mean, but I'm following
yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm just thinking about like a transfer because it's that thought is like a horrible thought, right? You don't want to be paranoid about your spouse cheating on you. And cancer is kind of that same way. Around me, there's been like 3 or 4 people who have gotten cancer. Unfortunately, one just passed away. I don't even know how to. I'm still processing it. It was a dear friend from the show, great supporter of the show, and I've been thinking about it like like nonstop. It's like I feel like it's like every 20th thought I have throughout the day, I'm thinking about this guy,
Yeah.
and you start thinking about everyone starts like self-diagnosing themselves. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a second, did he had his back pain? He had a side pain, like I had a side pain,
Right.
and it's kind of wild what it does to the people around you, and then they of course don't want to talk about it, right? Because they don't want to sound selfish, but it spreads to them like a mental, I don't want to say a disease, but definitely like those thoughts spread.
There's a
But then
reverb. There's a reverb, right? There's an echo of it.
yeah, everyone starts to question their mortality, right?
Yeah, and I think that's why some people, like I said, like some people don't handle it well at all and just bounce. Don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, Brandon did pass away, Jeanette.
Ugh. But yeah, it definitely throws you for a loop. Like you're a vastly different person. At least I think was a vastly different person going in than I was coming out. So
And along that line, I wonder how your parents, right? Because they can't really. God, did you ever talk to them about how they process that?
yeah, we talked a lot. It was difficult. It was really, really hard for them, like to see me going through all this. My sister to see me going through all this, and they were so frustrated and angry that they couldn't. They were too old to donate bone marrow. And that really upset them. Like they really wanted to help somehow.
Yeah.
But it was exhausting for them too. Like they live in New Jersey. It's a 2.5 hour drive. They're not young. They're deep in their 60s at this point, or 70. It's a lot for them to drive back and forth and to do all this stuff. Like they did it without a word of complaint, without like never once like, oh gosh, I can't believe I have to go to Timmy's again. Like it was like just such incredible selflessness.
Yeah.
Just to want to be there, like such a model for the kind of parent that I've always said, like if I'm half the dad that my dad was, I'm doing okay. And then mom and dad both, like, and my sister too, like, and she was pregnant, so she couldn't donate, and that bugged her. But she, like, even while in the midst of all of her, and she was a surrogate mother for a couple that they knew they couldn't have kids, because they're both guys. So
who was a surrogate? Your mom?
My sister.
Oh, your sister. Oh,
So
wow.
she was pregnant. Yeah, she's pregnant with some other dude's kid. Like,
wow.
And in the midst of all of that, like still there, still like constant. Like she would bring me, she used to bring me Us magazine and would write margin notes and all these little, like, all this stuff and highlight shit. So because I'd read when I was in the chemo chair, and you didn't really recall a whole lot. Like even now, like this is odd. There's books that I read when I was sick that I have no recollection of. I only know I read them because my Kindle tells me so.
Wow.
It's weird. It's weird.
Was there anything in particular that gave you, I don't know if is solace the right word? What's solace mean? Um, solace. Comfort, yeah, comforting. Was there anything that gave you any particular solace as you went through this process?
It was the love of my family and friends, that
Mm.
really did it. Like that was a huge thing. And then I'm just too stubborn to die. So that helped a lot too. Like, but
What
yeah,
does that what does that mean you're too stubborn to die?
I'm just too, I have too many things to do and I'm not ready to give up yet. Like
Yeah.
I'm stubborn. I'll hang on to things way longer than they should be, just because I'm tenacious.
Did you have thoughts like that, like about giving up?
I don't. I never did. I never thought like this is it. I don't want to do. Well, that's not true. The one time I did, after I got the CAR T, I was in the hospital, and it's rough. Like the the process itself is relatively simple. Like they take the stuff out, they put it away. A month later, and that whole summer, I'm getting. They called it salvage chemo. We're just playing keep Tim alive this whole summer. Um, I got one more round of chemo right before they put it in. So that was September 9th. September 10th, they gave me the stuff. And then
How
the
quickly does the chemo go through your body? That seems too close. One
chemo's
day.
quick. Like chemo, and this was really just kind of wipe everything out to make sure that my immune system was quiet, that
Okay.
there's anything left in there that would just kind of beat it up. So kind of like the ground forces to go in ahead of time to kind of soften the landing zone.
Because I'm thinking like if they gave you the chemo the day before they put in these cells, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't want that chemo in there fucking with my new cells, my new T cells.
No, the new cells don't fuck with the chemo, so that's
Okay.
good. But they're different enough from my regular cells. They've changed enough that my immune system does put up a valiant effort to try and get rid of them.
Oh
It's a
no
useless
shit.
effort. Yeah, it's useless mostly, but it's valiant. So there's
Wait,
two
so when you
big.
get the CAR T, aren't the CAR T cells yours?
They
But
are,
they're
but
in,
they're genetically modified and different.
and so your body actually tries to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
How
Body
do they
tries to
know
fight them.
that?
How do they know? Because they see it happen. They see the immune response. So there's two big side effects that come when you get it. One is called a cytokine storm. So you have this release of this immune release to go after these T cells. And it's a cytokine release syndrome. And I had a super high fever, over 105 at one point. They're putting ice bags in every nook and cranny to try and keep my temperature down. So that's a concerted immune response against these T cells. These T cells are not going to put up with it. Like they're going to win, but they're going to try hard. And then the second one is called neural toxicity. So usually chemo and that type of medicine, there's a brain blood barrier and it doesn't get through there. But this stuff does. So I'm in the ICU. Like 6 days later, I'm in the ICU. I don't know if I was actually having seizures or they thought I was, but I was acting as if I would have seizures. I have very little memory of anything that happened in those 5-6 days that I was in the ICU, except one time. I remember a couple of things. One, like you were saying, if anything was really bad, I thought, I can't do this. Like this is too hard. Like really thinking like the disease is going to kill me, but the medicine is. And I was there with my dad. And I was just crying on his shoulder, like I don't know that I can make it through this. Like I don't think this is going to work. And I don't remember how I got out of that mindset, but I do remember being there and thinking this is going to kill me. Like this medicine is going to kill me. I was so sick and so miserable, and like I had to learn how to walk. Like they had to put me on a walker and shuffle my ass down the hallway. Like I had 3 nurses and my wife like spotting me as I went 30 feet down the hallway and had to sit down and then turn around and do it again. And that was enough for that day. I remember one day Trish was in there. She plays guitar too a little bit. So she was in there strumming guitar for me. I brought my guitar because I thought I'd have a lot of free time to hang out and play music. And I couldn't, but she played for a bit. So that was nice. One thing I do remember, I had these. So when I got there, I'm in the ICU. I have no idea what the hell's going on. They put a bunch of tubes in me. They put a catheter in me. And when no one was looking, I decided I didn't like the catheter. So I yanked it out, which is the worst possible way to remove a catheter from yourself. It hurt for a month. Like every time I pee, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. So they had to put mittens on me and make sure that I couldn't pull all this stuff out. So I needed, long story short, I needed 24/7 babysitting, essentially. They couldn't have doctors and nurses in there, so they had people in there called, I forget, essentially babysitters. Patient care advocates is what they were called. And they were just there to make sure I didn't do anything stupid. And if I started doing something stupid, they pushed the button for the nurse to get there. So there's this one lady sitting there reading the book, and all I wanted to do, and I don't know why, but all I wanted to do was take my pants off. I had to take my pants off. So I would sit there and look for her, and I'd stand up and just drop draw real quick. And she'd look up from her book like, Tim, pull your pants up. Fine. Who are you? What's your job? You're not my mom. Shut up. And then boom, drop draw again. So the whole night, like back and forth with this. So I don't know who that was. I don't know what her name was, but if I ever see her, I owe her an apology. Yeah. I'm really sorry that that's what I was doing. But like, all I want to do is take my pants off. And so I kept trying to. But those are the memories that I have of being in the ICU. And then
that's the first thing. That's the first thing.
I got to get naked. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the first thing I want to do every time I get home.
I got to get these pants off.
Woo! I got to get these pants off. Hey, I want to go back to this CAR T thing.
Yeah.
So do those cells end up killing the cancer cells, or is it the immune response you have to those cells that kills the...
No, they kill the cancer cells in spite of their immune response.
And are they still in your body today?
I think so. There's questions about their longevity and how long they do or don't last, if they continue to multiply when they're in there. There's not an easy way to test for them. But the most recent studies have shown that they'll stay around for almost indefinitely.
There was
maybe not all of them, but enough to have special forces troops in there in your immune system to try and help make sure this doesn't come back.
When COVID first came around, I started like just studying just immune defense, and I fell down the rabbit hole of T cells, and they were just freakish, and they were absolutely, the stories about what they can do and how they travel in the body, and just their ability to just kill anything that it doesn't like or sees. And the two things that really stuck out with me is that when you are obese, because of whatever insulin or whatever hormones you have that are in your bloodstream, it affects the ability for them to move around in the bloodstream. It's like an ambulance trying to get through traffic. That was one of the things that really stuck with me. And so that really causes a lot of problem for their mobility to get to where they need to get to where the fight is.
Wow, that's wild. I didn't know that.
And the other thing that was really hard to get a lot of information on is there's something called a I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but I think it's called a leptin receptor. And there's this hormone that your body puts out into your bloodstream to let you know you're full. And I think it's called a leptin receptor. Well, this leptin receptor has multiple duties. I guess things in your body, they don't just do one thing, they do tons of things. And one of the other jobs of the leptin receptor was it would put out signals to notify T cells when there was an invader. So they had to, so if you became leptin resistant, then their ability to give marching orders to T cells also got inhibited, right?
So if you're leptin resistant and also obese.
Yes. So that's like a real problem. If the dispatcher at the police department, you can call him all you want, but if he can't tell the police what's going on,
and then if he finally does get through, there's so much traffic, you can't go there anyway.
Right. And then I'm like, well, okay, so if you're fat and you get COVID or any sort of infection, you're fucked. Like you're double fucked. One, they can't get to the scene, and two, if you're leptin resistant, they're not even
tell you the scene is there, let alone.
Yeah, they can't even tell you the scene was there. And I just remember and there weren't a lot of papers on it, and no one knew for sure if that's what leptin receptors did. It was just this hypothesis. But I remember thinking, holy shit, there's no time better to not be fat.
Right, yeah.
And not be, and there's no time better to be like, I'm going a year without eating sugar.
right? So many health consequences to not being in shape. And it's
Yeah,
amazing
this sugar thing
what
is
your
really
body
fucked
can do.
up. So sorry, say that again?
It's just amazing what your body can put up with. Like I remember like when I started the gym, I was constantly aware of people, like looking around, like seeing people like walking out of the grocery store with a cigarette in their mouth and diet soda hanging off the back, and they're clearly morbidly obese, and yet they're still at the grocery store walking around doing their shopping. Like what your body can put up with,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's less than ideal is really it's a testament to however it got here, that it can put up with so much dysfunction and still function.
Yeah. It's remarkable. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Heck
And
yeah, man.
yeah, and congratulations for Wodify. Wodify has been a great supporter of the podcast.
Yeah,
It's Matt Souza, who owns CrossFit Livermore, a big, huge, beautiful gym, has completely embraced the Wodify journey and
you
has had
know it.
nothing but just the greatest things to say about it. He's absolutely loving it. It's basically
It's yeah,
transformed, made it, reinvigorated him to come into the gym every day. So that's really cool.
it's a great company. Like I used Wodify at my gym way back in 2012. I was one of the very early adapters. You
Mm.
know, and before Wodify, it was marble notebooks and milk crates. You know,
Hmm.
shoved along the whiteboard, and
Yeah.
and Wodify was the first one in the game really to be like, hey, look, we can do this better. Like, get a couple TVs and we've got this going. And John actually, who's on your show, was employee number one, and he did my demo. Like when I started interviewing for this job, he pulls up all of our old emails from 2012. Like, oh look, we did talk.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
been an amazing company to work for, and it's so good to be back in this field. Like one of the things that I really liked about having the gym was being able to make meaningful changes in people's lives. Not to make them, but be a catalyst for like real change. Like I teach you how to pick up something heavy off the floor, and now you've got some confidence. And now you get rid of this deadbeat that you've been married to for 20 years, or now you go after a new job, or you get the promoted. Like Glassman said, like give me 6 months and you'll be better at whatever it is that you want to be better at. Just give it
Right.
6 months, right? And that was so motivating for me. Like I'm not a morning person. That's why I got up at 5 in the morning to get to the gym mostly on time at 5:30. Like because I had such a hand in people's lives improving, in real, meaningful, measurable, tangible, attainable ways, um, that I've missed tremendously. Not being in that, I miss. My days of gym ownership, I think, are mostly past me at this point, and now I'm lucky to get to the gym, let alone own a gym. But it's so good to be a part of that conversation again with people and being able to multiply my efforts, so that other people can do the same thing. Not just me doing it, but being able to empower other people too, is incredible. It's such a great opportunity where life and career kind of overlap like that.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much. It was great meeting you. It's great to
Absolute
know you
fun.
now. It's great to be I call you a friend. You're a great role model and example. Thank you for coming on here and telling your story. I hope it helps bunch of people.
I hope so too, man. Thank you so much again for having me.
Wait, hold on. Let me read you one thing.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Card, for this conversation this morning. Personally, it was felt. God bless you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Olivia. Appreciate it.
All right, dude. Have a good day.
You too, man.
Ciao. Oh, a good story, but brings up a lot of feelings. Last night I was up late. I had Jack Della Maddalena on last night. His first interview since the announcement that he's fighting Islam Makhachev. Jack was such a sweetheart last night. Such a sweetheart. I really appreciate it. I was thinking this morning when I woke up about how even in the conversation, he asked me questions like, "Oh, do your boys still do jujitsu?" And that shit's cool. Kill Taylor is not tomorrow. It is Sunday. Oh shit. I have Kevin Ogar and Kill Taylor on Sunday. Interesting. The adaptive games are coming up. I love Kevin Ogar. I love Lisa Gall. That's cool that Kevin's coming on. we'll hear about that. And they got a shitload of categories. Committed to going to CrossFit Crash, the Crash Crucible, October, don't tell me I know. October 17, 18, 19. I'm going out there 2 days early, going out there on the 15th. Okay. We still need a sponsor for Kill Taylor on Sunday. If anyone would like to sponsor the show, contact Matt Souza. Hit him up in his DMs. You should meet up with Mesa in person. Hey, dude, I listened to that podcast. I listened to that podcast that she did with John Woolley. I watched it. I want to say this constructively. I don't know if I can say it constructively. Woolley did an incredible job. I was wondering. I only want to say anything constructively to Mesa. So I don't know if I'm even in the space to put the effort into it, but it was very interesting. It was very interesting watching them interact. And I was thinking the whole time when I was watching Woolley interact with them, I was like, I wonder why he puts himself in these situations with young people who are so not well thought out. Like you can tell that Mesa is not well thought out at all. So everything she says is like just absolutely surface level. And he knows it, and but I wonder if it's because Woolley has young daughters, so they're almost like surrogate daughters to him. I was really impressed with his patience, and I was actually surprised at how much he actually does see, because usually he's such a fence sitter and a people pleaser himself. But I mean, he had to straighten her out probably 20 times on the podcast. I want to give, if I'm going to tell you, I'd love to give an objective example. I think I already hit the clear button on the podcast, but there's almost every subject there would be a conflation of ideas, and um I give you. I wish I could give you a direct example, but I'll give you an example of something. So if the example was the other day, when I told you guys the story about how at the Kumon Center they've hired a tranny, and I'm like, man, do I want my kids sitting across a tranny for 2 hours a week with like 12 inches between their face while they're learning English and math? And I'm thinking about it, and I'm speaking to someone about it, asking their opinion. I was asking my mom's opinion about it, and my mom says, "Well, maybe it'll be a good experience." And so, and with my mom and I, like, we're just drilling down. This isn't to dig at my mom at all. You know, we're drilling down. But from there, if you don't, you have to realize that you can say that about anything. So that doesn't say anything. And That's just absolutely, it's just vapid talk, but it kind of just puts a flag in there, so then me and my mom, I can be like, "Well, what do you mean by good experience?" Because I can say that about anything, and that's the level that everything Mesa says hangs out at, and base I don't know if she's protecting feelings or she's never been around smart people or if she's unconscious. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't have a like, a diagnosis for her, but, it's a crazy place. It's a crazy place to live. Um, and I know because I used to live there. It's wild. There's you're never getting to any substance. And, I don't know if she also knows she asks a lot of loaded questions, loaded and leading questions, and if you spot her doing that, and a lot of us do that. A lot of people do that, and the master manipulators, you don't see them doing that, but her, it's like coming from fucking a mile away. Like if she threw a punch, you'd know like a day before. And yeah, I don't know. I it would be a waste of her time and my time for us to speak because this is going to sound just wild, but her cup runneth over. She has no, do you know what I mean? Like she has no, she would needs to really empty her cup before she talks to someone like me. Um, so yeah, I know that's a pretty that could be seen as pompous or arrogant, but it just is the truth. Um, it's just the truth. Um, yeah, it was yeah, it wouldn't help to talk to her. Wouldn't help to talk. Yeah, she not she needs like yeah. Right, she could probably listen to this maybe if she listened to this podcast every day for, I don't know, a year, she might all of a sudden get like, "Oh, shit." It's weird for different people, right? Some people need the shit to just come roost at home. I mean, literally look what happened to Anna Kasparian. It literally, I mean, she was as superficial and as fucking vapid and not well thought out as possible. She's on one of the most popular podcasts in the world, The Young Turks. And it literally took a homeless guy to rub his dick between her butt cheeks while she picked up dog poop in LA to wake up. But dude, we just lived through a whole fucking worldwide shutdown that you would have thought woke every single person up on the planet, and it didn't. And it didn't. And so it's like, holy shit, like if you can't if that didn't wake you up and make you be like, "Wait a second," like, um, I don't know. I don't know what's I don't know what's gonna do it. So, yeah, why didn't it? I don't know why it didn't. I mean, the bare minimum, you would think that every motherfucker in the world would be working out right now. Um, some people wanted that shutdown. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Oh, yeah, that shit was crazy too, right. That's what I mean, there's just so thank you, Mr. Schweitzer, by the way, that's a beautiful blue. That the whole pretense that WFP is better because Will is nicer than Dave. Yeah, so that's funny you say that. So that's one of the things that's like so fucking highly manipulative. I mean, she doesn't even know she's doing it, but you come with the presupposition that nicer is better. It was like, I was like, is that what she's saying? Like, how the fuck am I supposed like how many steps do I have to unfuck someone back? First, I have to explain to them that niceness isn't a component and like we have to define niceness. And that's what I mean. It's just like so um ice cream good, broccoli bad. I mean, it's just it's just caveman talk, man. And and I get it. It could be hugely popular. I mean, with the caveman community, but like, fuck, dude. Like, just imagine. You ever you ever I used to have a guy I used to work with like this, and he would say stuff to me that had like 3 or 4 presuppositions in it, and I'm like, "Do I unwind this motherfucker completely? Like, do I how far back do I wanna unwind?" He thinks it's Saturday, he thinks it's raining, and he's acting from a place that we only have one-legged employees. Like, am I gonna explain to him it's not raining, and we don't only have one-legged employees, and that it's not Sunday? Like, you just like, how far back do I? Because they don't even know they're doing it. If you like, did you see the discussion between, uh, who's the Pocahontas chick in the Senate? Elizabeth Elizabeth Warren and RFK? I mean, you can't even have a conversation with these people because 'cause they're conflating so many fucking ideas. And then even if you did accept their premise, it's like, "Hey, dude, the 90% of the people who don't think Dave is nice and don't like him also think that, that's they love the fact that they don't like him. Like, that's part of the fun." Her stance against Dave is because she's against the machine. I mean, not oh, yeah, it's crazy. Maybe I don't know. I don't wanna bash her. She's on her own journey. It is what it is. For my whatever my own pathologies were, I definitely enjoyed watching it. I got some sort of pleasure from seeing it. Of course, okay, let me tell you I'll tell you this here on a really superficial level. The correlates for mental illness that were said in the last minute of the podcast were absolutely fucking insane. Caitlin referred to herself as a dog mom. John Woolley was talking about his fucking cats. Um, he had a problem with the National Guard going to DC, and there was one more. There were 4 correlates just right in the last minute of the podcast. I'm like, wow, these are just fucking batshit crazy. Uh, there was one more. What was the 4th one? Can anyone help me? And I was like, holy shit, they just went through the checklist of mental illness. People who refer to themselves as parents who have dogs, people who fucking like cats. And I love cats, but you know what I mean by like cats. Like it's like like it's some sort of fucking cornerstone of their life. And then thinking that there's something wrong with the fact that no black people have been murdered in DC since in the last 20 days, and businesses are flourishing, and no one has a valid complaint against it. It's like, um there was one more. I wish I could remember what it was. Uh yeah, it was batshit crazy. Marco Calderon, Stevan, you red pilled me within 6 months of consistent podcast. It works. Oh, there you go. Well, thank you. And I'm not saying that those are like, I'm not saying that there can't be a normal person who thinks that they're their dog, refer to their dogs as their kids. Um, and I'm not saying that you can't be a cat lover, and I'm not saying that you can't think that the National Guard, but it's probably a sign that you're really fucked up and not thinking properly, or something's wrong. You're emotionally fucked up, or you live in a delusional world. I'm just saying there's strong correlates, but to have 4 of them in the fucking 4 of them in the last minute, it's like, wow. Like, for fuck's sake. Come on, man. Like, and they're completely oblivious to it. That's it. All right. Jeff Bako, 8:39 AM, September 5th, 2029. Jeff and I agree. Cat should be named Whiskers or Mittens or Tiger or Shadow. Yep, that's correct. And all the stuff too that they say about the WFP or what people have against it, or they just miss the mark on all that stuff too. Wooly had some fucking great takes. I was kind of blown away, like bangers, one right after another. I started thinking, I go, oh, I wonder what's happening. I wonder if his kids are getting older. I really just saw it that he was talking to his daughters. I think he has daughters who are around the same age. So I just see him as kind of like talking to his daughters. I was like, "Oh, he must be going through some stuff with his daughters, like, finally getting out of, like, the desire to please them and do hive mind with them." Isn't Wooly on TRT? Jeff Bako, if you are a man who has multiple cats, you need testosterone levels boosted. It's funny, about a year ago, I wanted to get a shitload of cats, and I live on Old San Jose Road, and, I just didn't want them to run out into the old country road and get hit, but my neighbors have shitloads of cats, and I was thinking, "Man, I should just get a shitload of cats. I should get, like, 5 cats." Because I got a crazy gopher problem, like, crazy. Like, when I walk around in my yard, like, the ground moved, and because there's so many, gopher paths under and mole paths, and so but also that was about 6 months ago, I was thinking about that. Maybe I should just get a shitload of cats, to kill all the gophers, but my neighbors have a shitload of cats, and I realized this year I've seen 1/20th the amount of lizards, and I always like, now when I do the podcast, I always see cats in my yard since my dogs died, and, I used to never see cats in my yard, and now, I see cats in my yard all the time, and there are no lizards, and there's in the amount of birds in my yard, have gone down too, so those fuckers are, like, probably just killing all the lizards and birds. Fuck the cats, I don't know what to. They probably have the cat parasite. Oh, boy. Don't tell my wife that. Cat parasite. I don't wanna talk about the Sprague thing, by the way. The thing she said about Sprague will make me hate Sprague. I need to just get him on and ask him if he really said it or what he meant by that. That was just fucking retarded. I'm gonna go with he didn't really say that. I'm gonna live in denial. Get a wiener dog to catch those, creatures. I would love a wiener dog. What did she say he said? I'm not gonna say it. I don't wanna say it. I'll probably fuck it up. Ask Jonathan Ortega to say it or something. It was fucktarded. Magnus Holmgren. Oh, my I can't even pull up your comment. Oh, there it is. Get a pit bull, great family dog, liar. Very territorial, stupid. You need it since you leaked your address a couple times years back. Yeah, fuck it. Right. Okay. Right. If I ever get a big dog again, I'll get a Borbal again. That was an insane dog. That was the greatest dog I ever had. I had a lot of cool dogs. I thought there'd never be a dog better than the Great Dane, but the Borbal's absolutely amazing. Scary as fuck. Um, wow. Dak Prescott. What is all this shit on here? Dak Prescott spat towards Jalen Carter first in wild NFL opening night twist. This was gnarly. I'll try to find the video of it. No, it was not Roger McDowell, but the Cowboys Eagles saliva drama took another twist when NBC replays showed after a lengthy severe weather delay that Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott appeared to spit in the general direction of Jalen Carter during the first quarter on Thursday night. Oh, oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard this take on it. Basically, I'll pull up the video, but this guy, um, Jalen Carter spits on another NFL player before the kickoff. It's crazy, and they caught it on film. Prescott standing in the offensive huddle a few yards away, then smiled at Carter, who then approached the signal caller and spat on him. The Eagles' defensive lineman was ejected from the ball game while Prescott remained in. Referee Sean Smith explained to a pool reporter why Carter was tossed from the season opener just 6 minutes before it's starting. Oh, here it is. Let me see if I can. Crazy. Dak fired the first spittle. We had to retaliate spit. Let's see. This
What was
I
going on?
hadn't seen this.
Prescott in the huddle walks out between his offensive linemen, and Dak spits down towards the ground, but in the direction of the Eagles with Carter, who had walked over there, and that begins.
Wow. There's a big difference between spitting in someone's general direction and spitting on them. Spitting on someone's crazy. One of the officials observed him spitting on the opponent. Smith said a disqualifiable foul in the game. It's not a non-football act. Fort Worth Star-Telegram reported the citing two anonymous sources that while President Prescott spat in the general vicinity of the Eagles' defensive huddle and that Carter found it to be hostile, though the QB tried to explain that he didn't intend it to be that way. Well, even if he did intend it to be that way, big difference spitting on the ground. God, that guy in the right is those guys do not look healthy. That's crazy. It's crazy. After I did that podcast with Jack last night, I was buzzing on coffee, so I watched a 15-minute recap of like every play of that game, which is cool. They didn't have that when I used to watch football. You can just watch just a 15-minute version of the game. That's pretty cool. Spitting on another player, spitting on someone. That's crazy. Dense Updates used a crazy thumbnail the other day from the how come when you do porn you're a porn star, but if you're an actor you're not like a star for like a long time. But like if you do porn you're just a porn star. You know what I mean? It's like you're just a porn how many people have to jerk off to your film before you're a porn star? I know it looked like a good game. There were some crazy passes. Those guys were throwing bombs. It looked like a lot of pass interference. Oh, there are people who do porn who are not porn stars. All right. All right. Well, that CrossFit girl, I would say she's a porn star. More than 5? Okay. What if the whole collection of your movies is just on one guy's phone? Like you know what I mean? Sevon, what makes you assume it's on a guy's phone? Because only guys watch porn. I thought porno whore had replaced porn star. I never heard porno whore. Seems redundant. If you make it on the Bang Bros bus, you're a porn star. Okay. All right. I used to know girls that watch porn. All right. They make porn for women. They make condoms for women too, right? And shovels. Backyard shovels. Big shovels. Pink shovels. They make tractors for women. Janae DeCossin. Sorry for this next one. They make pink guns. Make pink guns. All right. I have a really exciting few days ahead of me. I have a very spoiled life. It's always exciting, but I'm driving out to Stockton, California to watch my boys fight tomorrow. And today, one of the Pan American champions is I think best in class. I don't know if it's no gi or gi. Is coming to our gym. So I get to watch my boys fight and do some training gonna be interesting. My boys are pretty although we do a lot of, tournaments in the area, they're still, like, and outside of going to, AOJ once in a while to fight with those kids, um, they just hang out here at home, in our little circle. Um, so I don't know what to expect today at training. It was the first time I saw my boys get cocky, um, because they they know they're gonna be testing themselves this afternoon, and they feel very confident. So, that should be interesting, and then after that training session, we'll drive out to Stockton, tonight. Uh, we got a hotel room right by the venue, which is nice. Oh, it's a big, huge arena. Those kind of, jiu-jitsu events are really cool because even though there'll be, 9,000 people there, it'll feel like it's just completely empty. Um, Fight Saturday, and then drive home and kill Taylor. So it'll be chill. I always feel like I'm gonna throw up when they first start the jiu-jitsu tournaments, but after a few minutes, after the first fight, I calm down. All right. Thank you to Tim Card for sharing his story. I'll see you guys later. I don't know what's on today. Is today Friday? I don't know what other shows are on today. Oh, do you know you know what's interesting? I think the box girls, um, Andrew Hiller is mentoring them, by the way. You didn't know. Now you know. Probably wasn't supposed to say that, but he mentors he mentors a lot of people in the space, actually. He's really good like that. Um, Let me see. I think I think they're scheduled to come on a show on with the Glintons. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misheard that. I don't see them scheduled. All right. Oh, they're on Glinton? Oh, why did I think that was gonna be that they're on Glinton? Why did I think that was gonna be on Oh. Oh, okay. They are on the Glinton things. Okay, for some reason I thought that was gonna be on this channel. Alright, I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know what's on. Oh, Matt Souza's gonna be on at 2:05 today, 2:05 PM on the Glinton things. That should be good. Alright. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.